If you look at the ecosystem, right? So there is classic investment banks in India, and then there is Big Four, there is private equity firm, there is venture capital, there is corporate strategy, family offices, and startups and founders, right? So these are the different kind of stakeholders we have in the deal making ecosystem, right? And depending on the project and the role you are in, right, you may be dealing with any of them, right? And generally, there are, even if we say investment bank, generally they have a focus in terms of what stage of deals they work at and what sectors they specialize in. Now, within investment bank, there are different kind of investment bank, right? So there is bulge bracket, there are boutique, there are sector specialists, then there are other kind of small firms, right? And generally, all of them require, I think, have a very different approach to deal making, right? And similarly, Big Four also have preference for sectors and stage. When you talk about family offices, they will generally have a focus on a strategic sector, right? So let's say if you have a healthcare focused firm, they will generally have a focus on a particular sector. When you talk about corporate strategy, again, there are specialist firms, there are consulting firms and advisory firms which focus on a particular sector. And venture capital and private equity is again stage and sector specific. So when we use these terms, these are broad terms, but once you get into any of these categories, there is further narrowing down and specialization. So if you're from an employment perspective, if you're looking at any of these buckets, then you need to do a lot of homework. Okay, which segment, which sector, and which state, and what kind of company and which geography am I looking at, right? So it's not only that you can say, okay, I want to get into investment banking. Then what kind of investment banking career are you looking at? Are you looking at buy side, sell side, IPO? Are you looking at boutique investment bank? Are you looking at sector specific investment bank, right? So all that varies a lot. And generally, when I go around different colleges, and now we are even training different professional firms, people generally don't have that clarity that when they are using the word investment banking or when they're using the word corporate strategy, it's very broad, right? So they need to narrow it down when they're thinking about their career.